Hello and welcome to the Manifest to Live Life Golden Show. This is episode 100. I don't know why, but that just feels so big and so good today. It really does to be committed to something, to expanding and growing with all of you over the last 2 years it's one of my greatest joys. It literally pops me out of bed in the morning. So I thought we'd go back to a little basics today because I love to go to the basics. And the reason why I love to do this is because getting back to the foundations of how energy works and your position in conducting that energy is the greatest way to understand how you are actually creating your reality. So when we go back to the basics, we can actually revisit something that we kind of take for granted and we kind of forget, right? Like even I kind of forget sometimes. So it's a great reminder to us and to actually activate it from a new place. Like you're in a new place today than you've ever been before. So when you hear this information, even if it's stuff that I've repeated 100 times, you're going to hear it in a different way today because you are in a different place and I am in a different place. How cool is that? Because we are expanding and growing together. And I love that. I freaking love that. Okay. So, I want to thank all of you that have been listening, all of you that encourage me every day, all of you that are here. We're on this journey together and we're expanding and growing. And even if we don't know each other, I love you. And I love that you are so interested in creating the reality. That is what is going to make our world a better place. That is what's going to heal the world and allow us to step into our power and no longer feel like victims to anything or to anyone. So you're taking your power back means our world becomes a more powerful place. The people that are interested in making the world a better, kinder, more loving place will be the ones who are the most powerful as you listen to this, as you become more, as you work on your spirituality and your personal development, you become more. And how cool is that we get to do that together? So thank you for being here. I am definitely grateful for every single one of you. And every one of you, especially that reaches out to me and sends me messages, I am truly, truly grateful. All right. So I want to talk about energy today and how energy works. And one of the things that happened this weekend that was so cool, that was so fun, and we did it so masterfully, was getting a table at a restaurant. Now, we've all been in situations, and I know these are little things, but the cool thing about the little things is you can apply them to the big things. So I'm going to do both. I'm going to do like getting a table at a restaurant, getting a parking place, and finding a new place to live. I'm going to do it all. So you can actually apply these steps to anything you're looking to create, the big and the small. The cool thing about the small things is they build your confidence. I had somebody ask me, a good friend of mine the other day asked me, like, do you guys really believe in this stuff? But she's watching us and she's watching us manifest. And she's manifesting things as well. She's not quite there where she's taking the credit for it yet. But the cool thing is, I was able to tell her 1000%, I believe in this stuff. And you will see it as you journey through and expand and grow and pay attention. Pay freaking attention to what's going on and watching the energy and where it's calling you to is the key to masterfully creating the life that you are living. So we went to a restaurant on Friday night, and it was kind of funny because we tend to make reservations. California can be really crazy in the restaurant world, so you always want to have a reservation because that just kind of gives you ease to walk into a place and say, yeah, we have a reservation. This particular restaurant is called Joey, and there's like 27 different locations all over the place. It's actually started in Canada. And I went there with my friends for lunch one day and we got a table within an hour. And I was like, I have to bring my husband here. The food is so phenomenal. The service was incredible. The ambiance, all of it is just so cool. It's like this new restaurant and there's a lot of energy and it just was like so fun. And I wanted to share that with him. So I said, hey, Friday night, why don't we just try? Why don't we just go there and see if we can get a table? And we'll just go have a drink and we'll, have some fun and, but the whole time I'm thinking that I'm going to get this little table by the bar. So there's an outdoor bar and there's a heater over this thing because it's cold out. It was like 45, 50 degrees. there's this little table that's lower than the bar, and it's in the corner. And one thing about my husband and I is we like to have our own little private place because he has trouble hearing when there's a lot. We just don't like a lot of noise. That's why we usually go out to dinner really early. I understand the early bird. Like, I get that now. I'm not that old, but we just like, our little peace and quiet, and we don't want to have to deal with a lot of loud things. So the whole time I'm thinking about doing this, which has been like a full week of pre-paving the energy. This is what I'm doing. I'm pre-paving the energy. I'm literally seeing us get this little table and have this little romantic, corner to ourselves. So we get there, we pull up, and the valet comes, and we get out, and he says to me, he goes, "Yeah, it's a 3 hour wait." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, maybe I'll get lucky." And he looks at my husband and he goes, "You've already gotten lucky with her." I was like, and we walked in and we put our name in, and the girl said, "Yes, it's a 3 hour wait." And she goes, "Our bars are actually at full capacity." Now, this is what happens when you're manifesting that can throw you off your game. People will put obstacles in your way, and they will create something that may mess with your belief system. Now, they're not doing it intentionally, but the cool thing is it helps you to clarify your solid intention. So when she said the bars were at full capacity, I just thought, we're good. And I walked to the outdoor bar where I was interested in getting a table, and I stood at the corner of where this little table was. And there were two gentlemen sitting there just having drinks. They didn't have food. And we ordered our drink at the bar, and we were standing there. And as I'm standing there, another gentleman walks over to them, and then they all kind of stand up and they're not sitting there. And I thought to myself, if I don't ask if they're going to take this, if they're going to stay here, I need to act. That was the thing. I need to act on this right now. So I walked up to them and I said, "Hey, you guys, I'm not trying to steal your table or anything. We have reservations. They're not for 3 hours. And I would totally sit here and eat if you guys are leaving. Like, if you have reservations and and they said, "Take it. It's all yours. You guys have a beautiful dinner." And within 5 minutes of a 3 hour wait for reservation, I was sitting in the exact spot that I had pre-paved for the entire week. And the feeling of elation, not just from getting this table at this amazing restaurant and being able to share incredible food with my husband, the feeling of manifesting something that I saw so clearly with no resistance was beyond. And I knew today's show had to be about this because I was feeling so passionate about this information and sharing it with you. And that may seem really ridiculous, whatever, first world problem, trying to get a reservation at a fancy restaurant. But you can apply it to anything. You can apply it to anything in your life. The reason why the restaurant is so easy is because there's not a lot of attachment to it, right? Like, we could have a drink. There was 4 other restaurants there. Like, we could totally find food somewhere else if we needed to. And it was really early and we weren't super hungry. So there was no resistance. There was no like, "Oh, I have to do this and this has to work." There wasn't any of that. I just had total faith and trust and belief that it was all going to work out. And it was so funny because we were sitting there enjoying this incredible meal. And an hour into our little appetizers and meal, we got a text that our table was ready. So within 1 hour, we would have had a table anyways. So I found that really interesting too. Like, they put this 3 hour thing out. And this is the thing with life. People tell us things happen, situations happen, and we have the choice right in that moment to believe it and create from it, or to say, "You know what? That's not the way this is going down. That's not the way that I'm going to play this." Okay? Because you're creating all of it. And you're creating it by your beliefs, you're creating it by your energy flow, you're creating it by your resistance, you're creating all of it. How freaking cool is that? It's so cool. All right. So when it comes to parking spaces, I know I've shared this many times. I have a parking angel. I pray to my parking angel. Oh my goodness. So many times. Spaces just literally open up right in front of me as soon as I get there. Sometimes it doesn't always work because of my energy. Sometimes I have anxiety about it. If I have beliefs and I'm driving down to Newport Beach, California, and it's a certain time and it's a beautiful day, I'm going to have a little bit harder of a time finding a parking space because of me, because I create the blocks, I create the resistance and the belief that it might be a little hard to find parking. So it's always coming from us. So you can do this with any situation, anytime. I wanted to talk a little bit about getting a home because I have a couple of people right now, my daughter included, who are looking to manifest a new place right now. And I have a lot of experience with this. And so when it comes to a home, there's a lot of energy involved in there. And there may be some desperation if you have a date on it. It's always so interesting, right? Like we have a date, we have to move out. We have a date, we have to move in, and hopefully those two things match up. And hopefully we find an amazing new place and we're super excited about it. So there's a lot going on. There's that fear of not having what we need. There's that fear of being unhomed, being homeless. I've definitely had that fear before. All of those things that we need to clear. So if you have fears popping up in your situation, journal that shit out and find out where those little wounds come from. Find out where that feeling of insecurity comes from. And I promise you, you will clear that. And once you do that, I have the steps. I've got 8 steps for you today, actually 8 steps to manifesting that will help you to clarify, become clearer and stronger in that conduction of what you want versus the conduction of what you don't want. So even if you're in a conduction of what you don't want and you're living in a lot of fear, you will manifest, but it will suck the whole way there. And that's what I'm helping you to alleviate because I've done it. Not being in the suck. Why do we want to live in the suck? It's a choice. It is literally a choice of what we choose to focus upon. And I know with fears and insecurities and wounds, it can feel like you have no choice. I totally understand that. The anxiety takes over, you tune into a frequency and you feel like your thoughts are thinking you and you feel like you have no control over it. That is your invitation to get my new book. And I'm so mad. I never have a book on me because they're all in my car because I got them in my car for distribution. Mindful Manifestations Daily Secret Guide and Journal, that is in your Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. That will help you to clarify this journey and to start releasing and healing from the trauma and the wounds that you no longer want to create from. We don't want to create from chaos, people. It is no fun. And yes, maybe it's part of your story. Like maybe it's part of your process. It was definitely part of mine. There were a lot of things that we had to live through that I can speak to now that are, incredible. They were incredible experiences to go through. But I no longer want to go through life like that. I don't want to live life through chaos. I don't want to create through chaos. I want a very smooth ride, a very smooth transition. And the way that you do that, the way that you conduct from a smooth ride is an internal job, baby. It all begins within. So if you don't have that meditation practice dialed in, you got to get one down 15 to 20 minutes a day. Dialed in, because that's what's going to help you to manifest. So I had a funny experience this morning at the gym, and there's this guy, I really love him, and he's really funny, and he's got just great energy every morning. But he tends to come in on mostly a Monday, and he's beating himself up for all that he ate that weekend and all the weight he gained and how he feels fat. And I said to him this morning, I said, dude, it's all about the way you're thinking of it. And honestly, my new thing right now is I can't gain weight. I can't lose weight. Like that's just my mantra right now. And I'm fine. Like the way I am right now is perfectly fine. I am no longer like trying to attain something because it just feels so daunting and ridiculous. And I'm done with the roller coaster ride. So I'm healthy. I'm strong. I'm really, really strong right now. My workout game is very strong. My yoga game is really strong. So I just decided that, and this came on the heels of my detox. I think I shared this 2 weeks of eating fruits and vegetables, and I lost 2 pounds and then quickly gained it back because I started binging after that. So I just decided recently, like, I can do whatever I want. Like, I am good about healthy eating. I love to eat healthy, but I love a freaking cookie. I ate that molten lava cake at that restaurant. There is not a piece of guilt. There is not a piece of regret. I had pizza yesterday. It was delicious. I haven't had pizza in probably a year. It was so good. So I just said to him, he's like, yeah, I said, just think of it this way. Think of your muscles as a refeed. Like you're refeeding your muscles from, healthy eating all week long. And then on the weekends, you do a little refeed and your muscles are going to grow from that. And he was like, oh yeah, you think from all like the alcohol. And I said, it's all the way you're thinking about it. I said, you're going out there, you're enjoying your life, you're letting loose, you're having fun. You shouldn't have to suffer for that. You shouldn't beat yourself up. If you're going to do it, have fun with it, enjoy yourself. Don't beat yourself up for it. And he said, oh, he goes, thank you so much for that. He goes, can you follow me around all day? And I said, well, I actually have a podcast if you want, if you want me to follow you around all day. I said, today's my 100th episode. You're going to want to listen. And my husband was totally supporting me and being like, yeah, you need to listen to her show because there's more really good stuff about this mind training game and how our beliefs create. So I cracked up this morning because I got on the scale and it was exactly what it was last Thursday. I think I weighed myself, which I'm just doing now because I think it's hilarious. Like I used to get on the scale and get so mad. And now I get on the scale and I kind of laugh about it. And I'm like, yep, that like cookie, that molten lava cake, those glasses of wine, none of it added up because I have a new belief about it. So it's kind of fun to play with this and see how we can manifest anything we believe, anything we believe. All right, so here we go. It's all the same. So everything we're doing, we can apply to these principles. All right, so number one, you want to get really clear about what you want. That's super duper important because when you get clear about what you want, you can actually go in and look at what you want, decide it, and create a strong vibration with it, right? Everything's about frequency. So when we know clearly what we want, we get a very strong and solid foundation in that, right? We call in energy when we get clear about it. The other thing you want to do is journal out the fears. So get clear about what your fears are. I did this with somebody the other day and got really clear about what her fear was, and it was hilarious because when we realized what the fear was, it was no big freaking deal. Like what's the worst thing that could happen? You're not going to manifest the worst thing that could happen by doing that. What you're going to do is you're going to clear out the bullshit underneath, the stuff that's going to slow the energy down. You're going to look at it and you're going to go, oh my God, that's ridiculous. That's not what I want to happen. So that's not going to happen. And you by acknowledging the fears and facing them, you're going to dissipate them. So that's an important part of this process. All right, so come up with a mantra. I love statements. Okay, we'll call them statements. I'm not so mantra-y, but a statement. Come up with a statement. Now, this statement is here for you to interrupt the bullshit. It's here to help you move from the things that you normally say to yourself into a new saying that has a stronger foundation in what you want to happen. So these are some of the statements that we had moving across the country, selling everything we owned, having like no home for a little while. These are the statements we had. Everything is always working out for us. That was, oh my goodness, that was our lifeline. We held on to that one like you would not believe. I always get everything I want. I had to stop saying that one because my husband's just not a fan of that one. He's like, why do you always get what you want? And I'm like, well, because what I want is what you want. But honestly, I always get what I want. And that is such a strong, I might have to go back to that one. Maybe I won't tell him. That is such a strong conduction. I always get what I really want, what I really want. Sometimes what we want isn't what we really want. You know what I mean? Because we are co-creating in this universe, the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it, has a bigger view. It has a higher perspective than we do. So sometimes what we want is smaller than what could actually be granted. And that's why we don't sometimes get what we think we want. So I always get what I want is that deeper want inside, right? All right. So I'm going to explain a little bit more about that. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So I always get what I want. So I wanted to explain a little bit more about that because that would mess me up when I was manifesting a home. It definitely would, because what I would do is I would get so lock solid on a place that I wanted it so bad that I would start to get desperate. And that place wasn't necessarily the best place for me. Great example of this. Right before we moved into this house, there was another house. I was in love with this house. In fact, it's the house that I met one of my very great friends, Diane, there. She was a real estate agent, and we have an incredible friendship with tons of fun that manifested from me looking at that house. So I fall in love with this house. It's so beautiful. It's a little bit outside of where I wanted to be in town, but totally okay. I'm willing to overlook that. I'm trying to think, it didn't have the view that we wanted. So there were a couple of things. There was a bedroom downstairs. I didn't love that because, I had teenagers at the time, and I like to kind of keep track of all of them. So there were a couple of things, but what that house did, it sparked a lot of desire in me. They wouldn't take my cats. So I wrote out a huge letter about our family and how amazingly, loving we are, and the cats, and how they never cause any trouble, and all of this. And I wrote this letter, and we begged, and they wouldn't take the cats. Then over the course of a week or two, we end up finding this home. And because of all the work I had done for that first initial home with the letters, and how useful my husband is because he can fix things, and we take care of a home like it's our own. I had pictures of my family, my beautiful girls. Because of that, because I'd gotten ready in that way, I was able to send it to this home. And that's what actually got us to get this home that we are still in after 5 years. That home actually got sold after, I think, a year or two. So it wasn't the best case scenario for us. So it's amazing how co-creating with the universe and trusting that we're going to end up in the right place. So sometimes that I always get what I want can mess you up because we don't really know what's best. We know what we want, but we don't always know what's best. So now my new saying is, if not this, something better. And I say that to people all the time so that we don't get so locked into a thing that we create a lot of desperation and energy towards something that may not necessarily be right for us. I think that's one of the struggles that people have with manifesting is they're like, well, I want millions and millions of dollars, And it's like, well, do you though? Do you know what that's like? Do you know what that's like to manage? I would like to try. Yes, I would. Do you know what it's like to manage millions and millions of dollars? I remember watching this show once, and it was about properties of really, really wealthy people that were like billionaires, and they didn't own homes. They owned properties. And I thought to myself, I don't know if I could do that. I love building a home. I love being in a home. I love bouncing all over the place to different properties that don't feel like home. I don't think that's me. So you have to really recognize, can I handle that? Is that going to be good for me? And trust that your expansion and growth are absolutely a huge part of this game, and that everything that is coming to you is part of that expansion and growth. Everybody thinks like, I have millions of dollars, all my problems will go away. And that is not true. I know lots of millionaires that have lots of problems. Okay. All right. So another saying that I've recently adopted that I shared is, I'm doing whatever it takes. I'm doing whatever it takes. It's making that decision that nothing is going to derail you, that no obstacle is going to get in your way. So whether it's credit scores, whether it's, not a solid income, whatever it is that's causing you fear. I know I've shared before, when we got to California, our credit scores were like 500. I mean, we just went through bankruptcy and foreclosure. Like our credit scores were, I was terrified that we weren't going to find a place because of the credit score. And I had a friend who told me that the credit scores weren't going to matter. And I really trusted her, and that really helped me. So if there is something in your way, something that you might feel like is going to mess up your path, let it go. Just work on letting it go, and don't let that be your focus. Really silly example. The other day, I ordered a rug online. It was like $200. Get the rug, hate the rug. And I had a little reservation when I ordered the rug because my husband said we don't need another rug. Okay. So when I ordered it, I had a little bit of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Right. So it comes, the color's all wrong. So I get in touch with the rug company. I'm like, I'm going to return it. So they send me a return label. They tell me what to do. And in fine print underneath, actually not so fine print, it says federal, I had to send it through FedEx. FedEx may charge a $200 ground fee if it's over a certain length, which mine was. So I looked at that and I thought, oh shit, that's not happening. That's not happening to me. Like, it's going to go back free, no problem. Going to get the return, not a cent out of my bank account. It's all coming back, no worries. So I go to FedEx and I've got the rug, and the guy says to me, oh, well, this needs to be packaged. And I said, well, I don't have anything to package it. And he goes, oh, I think I have some saran wrap stuff in the back and I'll have to charge you for it. It's like $6. I'm like, totally done. So I'm standing there and I go, can you just make sure this is all good and it's going to go through? And he's like, yeah, we're all done. We're all set. And I go, like, I'm standing there thinking he's going to want me to wrap the rug. Like, I'm thinking this has to be harder than it is because it's so easy. It's crazy. It's so easy. So he's like, no, you're all set. You're good to go. And I had the return by the next day. I had the money back in my account. And I thought, wow, I could have really screwed that up. I could have gotten all wrapped up. And you know, that little thing was in the back of my mind there on that little charge. And I was like, that's not happening. And I just kept interrupting. That's the key. I kept interrupting that little thought. Nope, it's going to be ease and flow. I'm going to go there. I'm going to send it back. It's going to be all good. Done. Boom. That's how easy it can be. And I have to show you in the simple things so that you can take it to the bigger things. Okay. All right. So a couple of other things. Don't give in to your worries or obstacles. Another saying is, I'll handle it when it comes. You know, don't borrow troubles from tomorrow. That was one of my friends that used to say that. And I love that. One of those sayings of don't borrow troubles from tomorrow. That means don't get so far ahead of yourself that you're pulling obstacles which aren't even there yet. Oh shit, that was good. Somebody write that down. Don't create obstacles that aren't there yet. The only obstacles are the ones in your mind that you're going to create from. And when people give you those obstacles, you have to just interrupt them. You have to go, you know what? That's not happening to me. That's your situation, but it's not going to be mine. And then create from that. That is like one of the most brilliant things you can do is let go of all that obstacle stuff, because we'll handle it when we get to it. You know, we can't even deal with shit that hasn't happened yet. So why are we putting those obstacles in our way? Open your mind to possibilities and not limitations. That's what obstacles do, is they limit your potential. So think outside the box. What else could happen? What other way can I do this? What other way could this happen? Many times, you know, with actually finding homes, a lot of times it happened through a friend of a friend, you know, and this has happened to my kids as well, where they will get, somebody will be like, oh my gosh, this person is renting a home and it's not even on, you know, it's not even on the market yet. Like, that has happened to us several times, where we get connected to people that have situations that we end up manifesting from. So if you're looking for a place, it may not come from online. Look online. Yes. Activate the energy. Yes. But tell everybody you know what you're looking for so that you can make those connections, because those potentials are lining up for you and they may come from very unexpected sources. All right. So watch the energy field. Let's see. Okay. I'm just looking to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, yeah, this is a good one, because this is something that I've done and I can still sometimes tend to do this. Watch your tendency to be in worst case scenarios, and the sayings when you start saying things like, I don't want this to happen, or I'm afraid this is going to happen. Watch those tendencies, because those tendencies are depleting your manifestational energy when you're in that, I'm afraid this is going to happen. Well, my kids say this to me all the time. Why would you say that, mom? Right? That's not going to happen, mom. Why would you say that, mom? You know, like, don't say that. So understand that everything is energy and you're conducting energy. So if you're focused on what you're afraid is going to happen, you don't want to create from that. Okay. All right. So watch the energy field for signs or your own internal guidance for inspirations. I love this, because sometimes I just feel inspired to act or to call or to do something. I think if you remember from my first book, Mindful Manifestation Secrets, when I manifested my Mercedes, I had an inspiration to call a different dealership, and I got Mr. Right on the phone. Remember this? If you didn't read that book, you got to get it. I got Mr. Right on the phone and he hooked me up. And that's how I ended up driving my first Mercedes. I'm now on my second one because I love the car so much. So act on that guidance, act on those inspirations, and watch the energy field, because you will feel flow. How I felt flow in that situation was I was upside down in my other car, and then I called and I didn't owe as much as I thought. And that feels like energy moving. Like if you get signs that energy is moving, boom, like just start getting more confidence. Like, oh, the energy is moving in my favor. I got to go this way. I got to follow the energy. You know what I mean? Because that is the best way to create flow in your life. If nothing happens for a little while, relax and don't force. Like literally be this like person in expectation, looking for signs, looking for the next thing to do. If you're feeling like angsty and like a little desperate, just get online and look. Like if it makes you feel good to look, look. But trusting and allowing is a lot of this game. All right, activate, don't be desperate. Worry and anxiety slow the energy field down and they can block solutions. When you are in the flow, you will feel good. You will notice a feeling like an elevation in your feeling, maybe a little bit of relief in your feeling, and that is really good. Fears need to be kept in check by journaling and talking yourself out of them. These are huge opportunities to raise your trust and faith. You want to amplify that trust and faith by focusing on the fact that you have always been okay, that you have always been taken care of, and that it's time for you to really step into that manifestational ability that you have because of your focus. Your focus makes you the most powerful creator. All right, so these are the 8 steps to manifesting. Let's go. Think about what you want. Get really clear about what you want. You can be specific if you want. You can be as specific as you want to be. You know, if you want a white Mercedes, you know, you think about that white Mercedes, you visualize that white Mercedes. Write it down, especially if you are looking to manifest a home and you have certain requirements like, you know, a driveway. Yeah, California, you gotta manifest a driveway, a garage, you know, a garage you can actually pull up to. These were things on my list. Crazy, I know. California is nuts. A view, a pool. I did not manifest that one. However, interestingly, I did manifest an incredible gym that I go to that has an incredible pool. So maybe I did manifest that now that I'm thinking about it. All right. Whatever it is, 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, whatever you're looking to manifest, quiet neighborhood, put quiet neighborhood in there. Just do yourself a favor. Whatever it is you're looking to manifest, write it down because writing is the strongest form of focus. Visualize and feel it. So a couple minutes before or after your meditation, a couple minutes before you fall asleep at night. Neville Goddard talks a lot about that marinade right before you go to sleep, really focusing on what you're looking to create. You've got like 8 hours of creation time when you lay down and you actually put that visualization into place before you fall asleep. Visualize and feel it. You got to feel it. The feeling is really important because the feeling, remember, emotions are energy in motion. All right, number 3 was visualize and feel it. Number 4 is let go of the doubts and the worries and the worst case scenarios. They are not doing you any good. They are not doing you any favors. They just create interruptions in the energy field. They create a slowdown in the energy field. So yeah, you have them, you got to deal with them. If you're trying to push them down or push them away or drink them away or shop them away or eat them away, that doesn't work. You got to face them, you got to journal about them, and you got to decide that they are no longer going to be conductors in your life. Those problems, obstacles, and worst case scenarios, like if you could just get to the point where you look at an obstacle, like I looked at that FedEx charge and you could go up. That isn't even going to be part of this scenario. Like that isn't even worth considering. Do that. Not even worth credit score. It's not even worth considering because I'm going to find someone who really sees who I am. I'm going to find someone who values me as a person. I remember when we moved into this house, we had a little bit of an issue with our credit scores at the time, and we were building them. So we were doing better, but we had that history there. And I remember saying they wanted an extra deposit. So they wanted $8,000 for us to move in here. And I said, absolutely not, because I have been in so many situations where landlords just keep your deposit. So I'm like, you're not going to have that much of our money. So I put my foot down and I said, no way. I said, we are worth this. We know that we are worth this. And I am not going to feel bad about what we've come through because we have built ourselves up from it, because we are doing the best we can. And because I held strong, we actually, not only did we get the place, but we got the place when there were other applicants and we didn't have to give that much money. So be strong in who you are. Be strong in the fact that you are worth it. Be strong in the fact that you are working hard and that you know who you are and that you are enough. Credit scores, all this shit, it's just an illusion. It's an absolute illusion. And we can manifest beyond that. If I can manifest a place when our credit scores were 500, you can, I mean, my husband's was like 450 at that point, and we had to pay a little extra deposit. So don't make these huge obstacles in your mind. Just let yourself trust the journey that you are on. Number 5, have a solid decision and a statement to draw from. Everything always works out for me. I trust in the energy field. I am manifesting what I want. Some statement that really connects you to doing whatever it takes that will help to pull you out of those lower frequencies and anxieties. You have to replace it with something, because, your mind is constant. That 60,000 thoughts a day, you got to give it something. So why not give it something positive to focus upon? Number, let's see where we're at. 4, 5, have a solid decision and statement. I already said that, to draw from. So that solid decision, like, we are doing this. I am doing this. This is happening. Solid decision. So that when the doubts come up, you have something to draw from. It's really important. Everything always works out for us. So the shit hits the fans, stuff comes at you. You're like, it's going to work out. It always works out for me. Number 5, number 6 is trust and reflect on all that you've already done. So yeah, pull up those old manifestation stories. I love to do this for my friends, for my clients, for my kids. Look at what you've done before. Remind yourself what you've done before, because this is insignificant to what you've already done. This is going to be no problem. Easy peasy. All right, number 7. Okay, that's number 7. Number 6. Wow, good job with the numbers today. Yeah, number 7 is allow and relax into your co-creative partnership. Allow and relax into your co-creative partnership. That means you invite in the universe. So once you have done all that you can do, invite in that universal co-creation and say, okay, I'm going to relax and allow. I've done everything I can. And now it's my job to trust that you're going to come in and line this stuff up for me. And it's not always in our timing. Sometimes it takes, that number 8 is the energetic needs time to break down into the physical. So, and sometimes it needs your desire to be a little bit stronger before it will actually manifest. So as you come through this and your desire gets stronger and you get even more engaged with the idea of this happening for you, like, this has to happen for me. This is definitely happening for me. Once you get more determined, more focused, and more desire ramping up the energy field, then boom, it's going to come into place. And a lot of times that's an intense feeling. That desire getting stronger can be very intense. It can be absolutely intense. And, it's funny. I was talking to my daughter today because she's moving again. And she was saying that she would have never left this place if she wasn't being forced out, and it's because the owner is actually selling the property. So interestingly, we talked about the things that she's dealt with in this apartment, which has not been great. She's dealt with cockroaches, she's dealt with drug addicts, she's dealt with a rooster, she's dealt with a freaking rooster, cockadoo-a-doing every morning, dogs barking to the point where she can't put her daughter in her bedroom because the dogs wake her up every day. So there's been things. It's also on the 3rd floor. There's no amenities. There's no pool. There's none of that. So in Arizona, you can very easily find a place with a pool and a gym and, great amenities. So this morning we were going back and forth about it, and she found the perfect place that she really wants. And there's a couple of obstacles, and we're working through the obstacles. But I just said to her, I'm like, this is what you're worthy of. Like, look at what you're worthy of and decide that you are worthy of it. And I knew when we moved into this house versus the house we were moving out of, that this house was so much more, it was more expensive, yes, but so much more in alignment with us and our abundance and our worthiness and of knowing who we really are. And that was the energy that I put forth when I put in my application. So understand that this is all working out for you, that this is all part of your expansion and growth, and that manifesting is a game. It's a wonderful game that we get to play, and we get to play it at full power, or we get to play it at half power, or we get to play it at no power. We get to choose by what we're focused on and how much we decide to believe in ourselves and our ability to manifest absolutely anything. So I am excited to hear about how you are living your dreams. I am excited that I have 100 episodes of this information to provide you with guidance on this incredible journey called life. I have a lot of big things happening and a lot of big things coming, and that is wow, this is big. This month feels really big. This time in my life feels really big, and I am just floored to be able to share it with so many beautiful people, and to just use this channel, use this wisdom for good, and to not be holding it to myself anymore, because that just doesn't feel right. It just feels like I just want to share it with everybody and anybody that will listen. All right. So, all right, you can find my books on Amazon. I've got Mindful Manifestation Secrets. That's our journey from California to, or Connecticut to California, and all the manifestation, things that we manifest. Short book, 85 pages. Oh, and that puppy is coming out on Audible if it kills me. That is happening really soon. Geez Louise, I'm working with the recording studio. It's been on, I've actually had it recorded for a year, but getting it onto Audible has been a whole other animal. So that's happening within this month. And I think I said that last year, this month, that was coming out. So if I don't do it this time, good Lord, I'm going to kick myself to the curb. Daily Manifestation Secrets Guide, Daily Guide and Journal. That is also on Amazon. And then I have Quantum Speak for Parents if you're looking for law of attraction and parenting. So a lot of good things coming. Actually working on our story. So the story, my life story with my husband, and all the incredible manifestations that we've had throughout our experience together. So that one's going to be coming soon in the editing process of that one. So I'm really excited. Totally obsessed right now with Stick Figure, the group. Geez Louise, the song, the writing of these songs is so beautiful. We're absolutely in love with this group, and I feel like there's been a real spiritual connection. In fact, one of the songs is called Edge of the Ocean, is definitely like our song. Like, it's our journey to moving to the edge of the ocean to change everything. And it's just like, it brings tears to my eyes to even think of. So listen to Stick Figure and listen to the words. If you can pull the words up, like, they're so meaningful to life, about how, I could have written these songs about how everything's going to work out and everything's going to be okay. And it's music is such an incredible tool for us to raise our vibration, but also to take meaning in life and to really connect a song, something that's vibratory. Songs are vibratory, and to allow that to uplift us is, it's one of our tools that we can use to uplift. Also dancing. Oh my goodness. We went dancing the other night. Holy crap. We had so much fun dancing and just letting our bodies move and feeling free. I think dancing is freedom to me. It really is. Just letting yourself go, letting go of judgment, letting go of, worry about what people think, and just letting the music move your body is so empowering. And also, it downloads all those incredible hormones, serotonin. I will give a little plug to exercise. I was thinking about this morning. I'm actually going to do a little post on what moving your physical body does for you in the manifestation world. So you're letting all of these incredible hormones be activated when you're exercising. Serotonin, muscle building. Muscle building is so important. What I've been doing in yoga is so important because of flexibility. I'm realizing my core is so strong that it's helping me in my other workouts, but physical movement of your body, not taking your physical body for granted, is super important. Feeling good in your body is really important to being a powerful manifestor, because you don't have that shitty committee so strong in your head. Once you've got like an exercise program dialed in, it's not something you feel like, oh, I have to do this, or I haven't been doing this, or beating yourself up. It just dials you into the best of life, to giving yourself the best opportunity to feel your very best in this life. And who doesn't want that? So get off your asses and get out there. You know what I mean? In just a walk will move you forward. Just a walk in nature is so uplifting and amazing for you. So move your body. Don't take it for granted. Stretch, build your muscles, because you're taking it with you. I mean, you're taking it into, your older age, and you don't want to be one of those people that doesn't have flexibility or balance, or don't take it for granted. Okay. Because it's really a huge part of living in abundance is your health. I think we all know that. So take care of yourself, tell yourself you love yourself by how you care for your physical body, your mental body, and your spiritual body. All right. That's enough of that soapbox. Love y'all. Peace.